12th anniversary of the September 11th attacks brings little solace for the millions of people worldwide who have serious questions concerning what happened that day. You see, instead of immediately investigating the monumental failure in government, the Bush administration opposed any probe into the attacks for well over a year until mounting pressure from the victims' family members forced the issue to be addressed. But once the commission was finally formed and its report released, many questions were still left unanswered. Questions that many people in this country still have. In fact, a recent poll by YouGov reveals that 38% of Americans have some doubts about the official story we've been told. One such man is Bob Mcilvaine. His son Bobby was killed in one of the towers on that fateful day. Earlier I spoke to Bob and first asked him why members of the commission were suspect, namely Lee Hamilton, and here's what he had to say.
He was instrumental in stopping the Iran-Contra investigation because of national security, and telling us, or telling the Jersey Girl and myself, that because of national security, we can't delve deeply into this matter. And that was very important to me. It just shows you how the government works. I mean, a big thing like Iran-Contra, covered up. And of course, if you study history, everything is always covered up.
Right, and unfortunately, only decades later does it eke out slowly the truth. As I know, and of course, multiple commission members actually resigned. They said that it was set up to fail. Talk about this memo that was leaked from the 9/11 Commission that talked about government minders that actually were directed to accompany witnesses testifying in front of the commission. What role did these minders serve in the testimony process?
Well, I'll tell you, I used to go to breakfast every morning. I made every commission hearing, and you see, you actually had, it's almost like you had minors with the commissioners. They had no clue what was coming down. Someone with me, I remember sitting at a table next to Curry, Bob Curry, and he says, "All right, what's going on today? What should I say? What this and that?" And minders were handling testimony from other, they would mind the people who were testifying that particular day. And of course, it's important when you just mentioned Zelikow. He had an outline. The outline of the 9/11 Commission was there before the commission started. So everything had to conform to that outline. So the commissioners had nothing. And the whole time I was there, each commissioner maybe had 5 minutes. So everyone that spoke, everyone that testified, and remember, there was no subpoenas, they would only have 5 minutes to question these people, any commissioner wanted to. And so anyone that would testify, a minder would, urge them that this is what you have to say. So, I mean, the whole, it's even worthless to debate about the commission and the fact that it was a useless endeavor. It was not an investigation. Ben Venice, I heard him say, again, down at lunch, he had said, this is only an exposition. It is not an investigation. We're just laying things out on the table. We're not there to blame anyone. And they were very condescending to all the witnesses, especially government witnesses. The whole 9/11 Commission is based upon torture. Everything in that book about what happened on that day is based on torture. I don't know where the uproar of the American people is. Anyone could torture me, and I would admit to anything, and that's a proven thing. And then one of the, Abu Zubaydah, we haven't heard it in the papers, but in 2009, they let this man go. Well, he's the one that dropped the dime on KSM, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. And he had nothing to do with 9/11. So there's nothing reputable about that commission report. It's a piece of fiction. It should be discarded. It's omissions and lies.
The most glaring omission to me, aside from some other really important things, is the put options. Why were you told when you brought this up that it was disinformation, or you were kind of rejected and dismissed about the put options? What are they, and why are they suspect?
Put option is you're gambling, and the firm that my son worked for, Merrill Lynch, people within Merrill Lynch made millions upon millions of dollars. You're betting a stock will fall, but you buy it at a certain level, okay? As that stock falls, then you're guaranteed so much money after that fall. So approximately billions of dollars were made throughout the world. And the 9/11 Commission, how they investigated that, they merely say, we cannot prove that bin Laden was part of buying these options. Well, then my question is, well, who is responsible for buying these options? People made billions of dollars. You don't put that kind of money in a put option. It's a thing that a stockbroker or an investor will do, rarely. So a lot of people made a lot of money, and the 9/11 Commission, their only answer was, well, we know bin Laden had nothing to do with it. So, that circular thinking, oh, therefore, what's that mean? Well,
right, the circular logic.
But who did? In other words, they didn't, circular logic. They didn't look into who did make this money.
Right, which is actually far more interesting, the fact that bin Laden did have nothing to do with the put options. Well, who did? That's far more interesting to me, that maybe, rich businessmen actually bet that these stocks would fail, I think 15, 20, 25 times higher than on average on any given day. Bob, what role has the media played in shutting down this type of important questioning about the event that's been used as the premise for the entire agenda, this neo-imperialist agenda?
The Inquirer reporter called me up, or she called me up for an interview, and I started telling her exactly what she should be looking into. I said, there's another story here. This seems all fake to me. Anyway, she said to me, she says, Bob, she says, I am the problem. And this is indicative of the entire industry. I am the problem. I guarantee you, if I go back to the editors, they will not put this on the news. I can go around the world, people will listen to me anywhere. But here in the United States, it doesn't happen. I mean, this is really the first interview I've had within the United States where I can talk about 9/11 and the murder of my son.
Well, unfortunately, it's on a Russian network, Bob, that really is indicative of how much of an abysmal failure the entire U.S. media apparatus has become, unfortunately. It's just an echo of the establishment, even though it's run by corporations, which should be of grave concern to every American. Thank you for your courage, for questioning government narratives. It's crucial. It's important. Thank you so much, Bob Mcilvaine, 9/11 family member. We won't stop fighting for justice for your son.